What's going on? It's your boy Rob Lee from Filth Bomb Breaks, and today we're going to be running through the sports cards product line of 2020. I got my main breaker Steven Michael over here who's going to help us review this year and look forward to next year's 2021's product line. So Steven, what do you think the best product of 2020 was?
I mean, there were so many good products. The market absolutely went insane around March, and a lot of the products that you wouldn't have thought were going to be great wound up being a lot better than they were supposed to be. And it was just because the supply and demand thing happened. So you had products like Museum Collection Baseball right when products started drying up. You had those boxes that are normally going for $250, $300, selling for $550, $600. And people were getting it because there was nothing else to break. So if you want to look at it from a standpoint of what overperformed or overachieved, I'd say products that came out in March, April, that people were worried about. There was nothing else to break. That's all there was. The only stuff that the factories really released. Those are the products like that really overachieved and did best. I think best from what I thought was the best, value-wise, product-wise. I want to talk about Immaculate Football that just dropped. I think that was probably my favorite product that I saw all year. It was just beautiful. The design was right. I wasn't sold on National Treasures basketball as much this year. It was just too risky. You know, they're 10 cards, but the first 3 are guaranteed to be poo-poo. You know, then you start getting down the line. The autos are usually a little weak. Immaculate Football, it brought the heat this year. We opened up a lot of it, and there was just a lot of really good autos, great checklist. I was pleasantly surprised with that product.
So you think it surpassed your expectations? I mean, do you think this year was better than last year? And in terms of what? Like what factors?
Well, the checklist is just overall better because the rookie class is way better. But it's just, I don't know, they were put on nasty patches that I didn't really see that much of last year. It was just overall the production, like they did it right. I give it a 10 out of 10. NT basketball usually is a home run. And I mean, it does have the Zion that everyone's chasing still. It still hasn't been pulled. The 101 logo, man, we're going to pull it soon. But that card right there is the only reason that really kept people going and driving towards that product this year. Because overall, the checklist, it was tough, man. It was very hit or miss. Very hit or miss.
Now, you think Museum Series was only popular this year because at one point this year, when it was super hot, like you couldn't get your hands on anything?
Yeah, no. I mean, Museum's usually a nice high-end collector product. What happened this year, though, was the factory shut down. They weren't producing more releases, so the only thing that was out was that, and it was supply and demand at that point. Everyone needed it because there was nothing else to break.
You think in that exact moment they would have bought anything that was supplied?
Yeah, especially because the market was starting to get so hot. But don't get me wrong, this is my favorite year of Museum Collection ever. They just did a great job this year. Everything was spot on tops.
I see. Now, looking back at 2020, given this is the end of the year, what would you invest in right now in 2020's product line?
At March's prices or at December's prices?
December's, like right now.
Ooh, that's tough. I mean, everything's up, man. Everything's up.
Yeah, I know, but even though it's up, what would you?
I would say buy 1920 basketball that has just released, that hasn't jumped yet because there's still a lot of availability. A lot of the earlier 1920 stuff, it's starting to dry up. A lot of people ripped it all throughout the year. So 1920, like premium stock hoops, there's still plenty of it out there, right? Mosaic, T-Mall, still plenty of it out there. But once it starts getting ripped, once it starts getting dried up, then all of a sudden you're going to see the prices go like this. Yeah. So anything you can find NBA, even clearly Donruss, right? Mm-hmm. That's a product that's at a $300, $325 price range right now. Mm-hmm. That's going to be, if you just look at what Donruss Choice did, all right? Donruss Choice is at $700, $800 a box right now. There's no reason why clearly Donruss can't be at a $500, $600 price point in the next 6 months. Wow. It's just nobody's really going for it because it's still available. It's readily available. But I love buying stuff like that because you have a chance to double up on products like that, on products like Hoops Premium Stock, products like Status T-Mall, products like Mosaic T-Mall, even Contenders Optic T-Mall. It's not a strong product, but you have a chance to make some money on it.
Yeah. So with that said, what about 2021? What do you think the hottest product is going into this new year? What are you going to be hoarding if you could get the supply?
I think hoops basketball is going to be fire, just because it's going to be the first time you have a chance at this new rookie class in pro unis. It's not usually a high-end product, but they're going for $300 a box right now. Also, people are starting to get on the hoops wagon that never used to be on the hoops wagon, right? Because hoops used to be low-end, $60 a box.
Yeah.
But now that prices of prizm have gone to $3,000, $2,500. You have nowhere else to turn, and that's a perfect alternative because it's kind of like the Topps Update flagship basketball product, you know? So how Topps Update is for baseball, then you could get high up in, you know, I mean, they don't really have a high end. I guess Transcendence, they're high end, 30,000 a case. But you have hoops basketball, which is like the flagship paper base, and then it shoots up, you know, Prizm, where you're looking at least 5x what a hoops box will go for. So I think hoops is a good play. It's a safe play. I think within 6 months, all that hoops is going to be ripped open, or a lot of it, so it's going to start drying up, which is going to drive up the price point. So that's a real good play for the early time being. Obviously, your national treasures basketball is going to be something you want, but that's a higher price point. Prizm basketball. I think a real solid play right now is anything that has to do with baseball prospects. So Bowman Draft. Great buy right now because there is no minor league ball, so nobody's speculating. Once minor league ball comes back to play, everyone's going to start speculating again, and everyone's going to want the hot new prospect. There is no hot new prospect right now because it's just Jason Dominguez and then time stopped, right, with COVID. So you're looking at like 19 Bowman Chrome didn't perform that well. There could be someone in there, though, and all of a sudden that stuff's going to double. So you got to look at stuff like that, where no one's looking right now. Nobody wants the prospect baseball stuff. That's a good buy. Usually you want to zig when people are zagging. That's how you're going to be effective.
So last question. I mean, I feel like there's definitely a trend of different sports that are popular and unpopular at different times of the year. I mean, like this year we saw a huge increase up until August in basketball. And now Gretzky sold for $1 million and it put exposure on hockey. So what do you think the shift in sports appeal will be in 2021?
So I think everything's hot right now, right? From Garbage Pail Kids to NBA, just everything's selling, right? So as far as being hot, everything's going to be hot. What I did notice is the trend for buying low on the offseason is starting to shrink. Whereas you used to have the entire offseason to buy low on somebody. So say on baseball, you wanted to buy Acuna. He would drop down in the offseason. You'd have about 3-4 months to buy, and then it would shoot back up when spring training happened. Now the window's going to like 2 months. It's just baseball's already starting to trend up already, and we're not even in the new year. So if you want to make money buying and selling sports cards right now, you have to think about what you want to do 2 months from now and do it now, because you have to be ahead of the curve. There's so many more people in the hobby now than last year that everyone's doing the same thing. It's who's going to do it fastest, who's going to be smartest. That's how you're going to actually capitalize in this market.
All right. So there you have it. There's 2020 in review. We got 2021 coming up. If you got any questions, let us know.
Get in a break today, filtbombreaks.com. And if you want to submit your cards to PSA with us, all you need to do is email us, filtbombsubmissions@gmail.com, or visit our website again, filtbombreaks.com. Fill out the form, hit us up. We got everything over here. We're ready. We're excited. Also, if you're seeing this before Transcendent drops, there's 15 spots left, $517 a spot. Biggest case of the year for baseball. $30,000 case. Go get in the case. Let's do it.